Okay, hi, we're back. We are going to talk about these lights and basically how they work, how to move them and maneuver them. First things first, they are on this scissors jack pulley system. So if you want to raise or lower them, basically put your hand on there and raise and lower it. It's pretty straightforward. Turning them involves, they're not fully locked down here. Ideally, you're not turning them by that, you're turning them by this, okay? So you can turn to some extent this way. Due to the fact that we have a lot of students in and out of here, everything is tied off like this, which limits the actual amount of movement that you can get out of these lights. However, for our purposes, the amount of movement you need is fairly minimal. They turn left and right here if you loosen this, and then this whole system will turn back and forth as well, which is good and bad. Sometimes if you want to turn it to a certain point, this one's not going to do it. It will then swing back. Actually, this one over here will do that on you. So if I turn it to here, watch what happens. Okay, so you may have to find a way to lock things in place. Not ideal, but again, for the assignments that we're doing, you should be fine with what you need these lights to do. Okay. If you look on the back of the light, right here, I'll try to point the camera in exactly the right way instead of moving it around. The on-off switch is right here. Okay. So basically you push it on, it'll turn green. You can see the light turned on, and if I come around to the front, lo and behold, we have light. That's light, that's not light, okay? Coming back to it, you also have a few little adjustments that you can make. There's a power setting. So just looking through there, as I dial it up, it gets brighter. As I dial it down, it'll go dimmer, okay? Generally, in this studio environment, you're gonna want it to be at full power because unless you're shooting video, it's a fairly dim light compared to strobe, which is what we usually use in photography. One thing I should mention, there is a little indicator on top of some of these lights, I don't know if it's on all of them, that will tell you what your percentage power is, okay? And over here on this side is your color temperature. Some of you may know what that means, others not, but if we will go into that in a future class. If you look at the light, I think you can see it in this video, it tends to look very blue and cool when you dial it all the way up to the highest color temperature, which is on a Kelvin scale of 6,500. That's not as high as you can go on that scale, 10,000 I believe is, but for our purposes, this should be enough. And then going back the other way, you'll notice as the color temperature goes down, actually let me do that again so you can actually see it without me blocking it. So the light's sort of a bluish tint, and then the light goes really warm at the other end of the scale, which is 2,800. To give you some idea, normal daylight is about 5,600, okay? That's pretty much it for on-off and color temperature and power. I'm going to turn it off for now. Now, if you'll notice, there's a big box on the front of the unit. That box is called a softbox. I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with them or have seen them before or heard of them. Their basic job is to contain the light in one direction so that your light's not spilling all over your studio. And as well, using the diffusion in the front here, okay, soften the light so that it produces a much nicer effect. I'm going to do a little short demo in another video that shows the difference between that hard light and the soft light, but I'm not going to do that right now. These peel off, okay, so there's one, in front here, and then there's one inside that produces a nice scattering of light that produces really soft, smooth, creamy light for portraiture or for product or whatever. Beyond that, you can take these out and then you have a highly reflective surface, okay? And that will provide you with a much harder light source. Okay? There's other modifiers that we'll talk about down the road. This is what's available in the studio here. And yeah, this is what we're going to try to emulate at home, hopefully. Hopefully with the help of my studio, home studio ideas for you. And that's the end of this video. So I'm going to sign off on that, and next we'll go to the background stands.